The manager, with a smug grin, mocked the guy in the bright red cap, convinced he was just another loser. His sharp jokes echoed through the showroom, drawing chuckles from his colleagues. But one small detail flipped everything, turning his smile into frozen terror. Trust me, you have no idea how quickly it all fell apart. The summer heat in Los Angeles didn't seem to faze Jason Reynolds as he strolled into Elite Auto Emporium that Friday afternoon. The showroom was a gleaming palace of luxury. Spotless marble floors, sleek sports cars lined up like soldiers on parade, and an air of exclusivity that seemed to challenge anyone who dared to enter. Jason, a 30-year-old white man with sharp blue eyes and an air of quiet confidence, walked in like he owned the place. Dressed in a plain black t-shirt, well-worn jeans, and scuffed sneakers, he didn't look like the typical clientele. But it was the bold MAGA hat perched on his head that turned heads and started the whispers. Behind the polished counter, Brad Saunders, the dealership's self-proclaimed star, narrowed his eyes. Brad, in his early 40s, exuded smarmy arrogance. His gelled-back brown hair, a flashy gold watch, and a too-white smile screamed, "I'm the king of this jungle." He prided himself on being able to size up customers at a glance, and to him, Jason's casual look screamed one thing: time waster. Brad leaned toward his colleague, smirking. "Watch and learn," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "This guy is about to window shop his way out of here." Jason stopped by a bright red convertible that seemed to sparkle under the LED lights. He ran his fingers along the hood, his expression unreadable. Brad sauntered over, his smile wide but far from welcoming. "Hey there, bud. Thinking about upgrading your bike to one of these beauties?" Jason turned, his calm demeanor a sharp contrast to Brad's sneer. "Actually, I'm interested in buying this one. What's the price?" Brad let out a laugh that echoed through the showroom. "Oh, that's cute. Listen, champ, this car might be a bit out of your league, but don't worry, we've got some affordable options over there," he said, nodding toward a corner filled with sedans. Jason didn't blink. "I didn't ask about those cars. I asked about this one." Brad's smile turned tight. "Look, pal, I don't have time for jokes. If you're serious, let's see the money. Otherwise, don't waste my time." Jason's jaw tightened, but his voice remained calm. "Understood." Without another word, he turned and walked out, leaving Brad to bask in his self-proclaimed victory. "Unbelievable," Brad said, shaking his head. "Some people really don't know their place." The following morning, Jason walked back into the dealership. This time, he wasn't alone. Beside him was Robert Carrington, a sharply dressed man in his late 50s, exuding an aura of quiet authority. Robert's tailored suit and polished shoes made it clear he was someone used to commanding respect. Jason's red hat was still in place, and as he entered, heads turned. Employees whispered to each other, recognizing him from the day before. Brad, who was busy showing off a luxury SUV to a couple, glanced up and froze. His smirk returned, this time tinged with amusement. "Oh, look who's back. Didn't get enough window shopping yesterday, huh?" Jason didn't reply, but Robert's sharp gaze cut through the room as he approached the counter. "Good morning," Robert said, his voice steady and firm. "You must be Brad Saunders." Brad puffed up his chest. "That's me. How can I help you?" Jason stepped forward, his expression calm but pointed. "Actually, it's about how we can help you." Brad frowned, confusion clouding his face. Robert placed a hand on Jason's shoulder. "Meet Jason Reynolds, your new boss." The room fell silent, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Brad's confident posture collapsed as he stared at Jason, then back at Robert. "Wait, what, boss?" Jason removed his hat, his piercing gaze locked on Brad. "Yesterday, I came in to see how things are run around here. Safe to say, I didn't like what I saw." Brad stammered, his usual bravado nowhere to be found. I didn't know. If I'd known." Jason held up a hand. "That's the point. You didn't know, and instead of treating me like any other customer, you chose to mock and dismiss me." Robert's expression was stern. "Elite Auto Emporium has a reputation to uphold, Mr. Saunders. Your behavior doesn't align with our values." Brad's face flushed. "Please give me another chance," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Jason exchanged a glance with Robert, who nodded. "We'll discuss your future later. For now, Jason and I have work to do." As the two walked away, the room buzzed with quiet murmurs. Brad sank into his chair, his world crumbling around him. By Monday morning, the dealership was buzzing with anticipation. Jason had called a meeting, and every employee stood in the showroom, unsure of what to expect. Jason, now dressed in a crisp button-up and slacks, stood at the front. Gone was the casual demeanor from before. He was all business. "Let's get something straight," Jason began, his voice firm but calm. "This dealership is under new management, and things are going to change. Our priority is respect. Respect for each other and for every single customer who walks through those doors." The employees nodded, a mix of relief and nervousness on their faces. Jason's gaze landed on Brad, who stood off to the side, his usual cocky demeanor replaced with unease. "Brad," Jason called, "step forward." Brad hesitated but obeyed, his shoulders slumped. Jason's tone was measured. "You've been here a long time, and your numbers speak for themselves. But selling cars isn't just about numbers, it's about integrity. You've got one chance to prove you can embody that." Brad swallowed hard. "I understand." Jason nodded. "Good. Now let's move forward. Together." As the meeting ended, the employees dispersed, energized by the new direction. Outside, the dealership's sign gleamed under the midday sun, a symbol of change. And inside, Jason sat in his office, his red hat sitting on the desk, a reminder of how one moment can redefine everything. What would you have done in Jason's shoes? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments. Have you or someone you know ever faced a similar situation? Let's hear how you handled it. Don't forget to like and share this story to keep the conversation going. This story isn't just entertainment. It's a spotlight on real-life issues to inspire change and make the world a better place. Your voice matters.